hello YouTube. Hi YouTube. It is me. It is JD. It is I, and we are here with another episode of Talks with Rocks, and it is all about new habits. I couldn't be more excited. I'm just over the roof. I'm very excited to be bringing this to you. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. Am I right? Tonight is all about new habits so we can create a better way of living. Let's go into this. So, this is my research that I've done. These are observed habits that I have personally. Most people, some people have them, some people don't, whatever the case may be. These are good examples of what a habit is. So, smoking, drinking, eating, shopping, blaming myself, blaming others, less effort, less motivation, not wanting to do productive tasks, doing bare minimum, ordering food, less gratitude, anxious, fasting, also known as starving yourself, phone time. So, as you can see, I have a lot of things that I like to work on, and this is just a few of them. I sat down for maybe like 30 minutes to write down these examples, you know what I mean? And these are probably the top, the very, very top. But humans, we never run out of these. We always add on habits, and say if I try to get rid of smoking, shopping might come up more, you know what I mean? Or, habit for a habit, or addiction for an addiction, or whatever you want to call it. Those are just some examples. Symptoms, you can also call them old ways, nasty habits, old customs, vices, faux pas, bad behavior. A lot of people call them different things. They're all habits, so things that you do on a regular basis, which would be considered a habit. So there's also more examples for habits: gossiping, overindulging, lying too much television, nail biting, living to impress others, failing to say no to things, staying in a bad toxic situation, cutting corners, making decisions while you're angry, eating poorly, poor money and savings management, overthinking. So as you can see, there's a ton of these bad habits all over the place. I mean, these are just a few, and these are what you can call them too. But, where do all these things come from? Where do all of these, I guess a lot of people can say that they come from your insecurities, or the bad part about yourself, or whatever. See, also here it said it said bad behavior. Bad behavior is another thing that people call habits. Now, there are different definitions. So, like, bad behavior and a habit, not everybody thinks that habits are bad behavior, because they're not. But for a lot of people, their habits are bad behaviors. Some people just have habits, and some people, if all of your habits, if you were to write down all of your habits, if every single one of your habits you would consider a bad behavior as well, then that's more of a list of addictions. I mean, in my opinion, it's more of a list of addictions, or just things that you do, habits, also known as bad addictions, whatever the case may be. But that's just something I wanted to put in there. So smoking, research shows that not even in small quantities, smoking is bad for you. However, the benefits of quitting begin in just 20 minutes. So as soon as you stop smoking, if you just wait 20 minutes at least to go smoke again, to do any of that, it's already healing. You're already reaping the benefits after your last cigarette. Yeah. And not exercising. This is a bad habit that is not as obviously bad for you as smoking, but sometimes bad habits can be in action. Yeah, it's very, very true. not doing anything, not getting up, not stretching, not necessarily working out, because not everybody works out, but if you're not getting up every single day and doing something, going outside, then I think there needs to be a lifestyle change for sure. Not getting enough sleep. Sleep is a necessity in life. Research shows that lack of sleep can increase the risk for high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, depression, heart attack, and stroke. Okay, so this is very serious. If you don't get enough sleep, you're already damaging yourself. You know what I mean? And you have to be okay. Say you have a habit, and say this habit you want to get rid of. Okay, you want to get rid of it. You're not going to be able to do that with lack of energy. If you are trying to get rid of a habit, it's going to be hard. You can't bullshit around it. If you say, I don't want to smoke anymore, then you're going to have to start fucking taking care of that. You're going to have to do more to stop smoking and to stop that habit than you are to start a new one. You know what I mean? So you have to, exercising and sleep is very important. Very important. Too much screen time before bed. If you're always on your phone and you don't have moments throughout the day where you're like, hey, I'm just going to go put my phone away for a while or whatever, it's just not good for you. One way to get more sleep is to break the common bad habit of looking at a screen before you go to bed. Some research has shown the light from electronics such as TVs, tablets, and smartphones can mess with the hormones that help us go to bed or sleep. Yeah, bed, sleep. That is really interesting. I don't know if a lot of you guys knew that or if it was just me that just read that, but yeah, it's very true. Not getting enough sleep, not going outside, always on your phone, always watching TV. These things are already shit. If you are wondering, if you're going to sit there and wonder, why do I feel so shit? Why am I so unhappy? You can start there. Start there. Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. If you're not sleeping, you're on your phone all the goddamn time and you're not getting out and doing things, start there, man. It's a hard thing to, do it. And if you're in a habit of not doing those things, see what I'm saying? See, those can be habits as well. Not sleeping is a habit. Your habit is not sleeping. Hey, or maybe, I have a habit of being on my phone too much. I have a habit of not going outside and not doing things. See what I'm saying? So you can say smoking, drinking, eating, shopping, those are all habits, but not doing those things are also habits. It's up to you to decide which habits you want in your life, which habits are good for you, which habits aren't as good for you, and it's up to you to decide that. So if you put all of your habits in a shit order and they're all fucked up and they don't make sense and you're unhappy, then don't go bitching at me. I don't care, because what I'm going to say is, do you get outside enough? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you on your phone all the time? These are very simple things that really bring us down if we get into these habits. Slouching, overspending, procrastination, talking. Too often people are incapable of saying anything nice about themselves. We as people are often taught to be our worst critics, and sometimes this can become overwhelming and lead to low self-esteem, also known as unhappiness. If you're always shitting on yourself, if you're your own troll, we got issues. There's already problems. These are very overspending. If you're spending money that you don't have, and you're unhappy, and that's a habit you should probably think about getting better at, and stop doing it. Stop spending too much money. Stop procrastinating. Stop putting things away. If you need to go get the laundry done and do the dishes, go do it, because those are things that just need to be done. If it's hard for you to just do everyday life as is, there's a problem. And I think you need to look into yourself, and look at your habits, the good habits, the bad habits, all of your habits, and really start doing some rearranging. Because these are very simple things that, most people do all of the time. Hence why a lot of the world has gotten very unhappy. So we're just going to keep it going, keep it moving. How do we do better? How do we do better, JD? What the fuck? How am I supposed to do better? Well, identify the habit. If you want to get rid of a habit, if you want to do better at a habit, whatever the habit that you want to do something with, identify it. Say it out loud. Tell somebody. You may desire to define the actual concrete behavior that you want to change. Sure, you know that smoking is bad for you, but what are doable solutions? You may want to switch to nicotine patches or alternatives to help. Or perhaps you want to stop smoking as many smoke breaks, or stop taking as many smoke breaks as possible at work. These are all very good things. These are very doable. So the first thing to understand is that it's going to take a lot of energy. It's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take a lot of those things in order to change a habit, in order to get rid of a habit, in order to do something with a habit. You're going to have energy. You're going to have that. That is a must. And you can start by doing nicotine patches, etc. So for example, I've been smoking a shit ton of blunts. I've been smoking blunts and blunts and blunts, which also, is a certain degree of nicotine. I've been smoking blunts for a while now that it's just, it hurts my throat. I can feel it. I can feel differences. So now I can identify that this is something that I want to change. I don't want to smoke nearly as much. I don't want to smoke at all if I don't have to. You know what I mean? I want to be able to get to that point. But I have to first understand a doable solution. So to slow that down, maybe instead of smoking blunts every day, maybe I switch to a vape. You get what I'm saying? I'm not cutting it out completely. I'm just switching to something that doesn't have nicotine. See what I'm saying? So moving on, after you have identified the habit, identify your triggers. You may want to consider why you find your bad habit so compelling. Why did you develop the habit in the first place, and what drives you to continue to go back to it? It could be as simple as seeing snacks at the kitchen counter prompting you to eat it when you're bored. Perhaps moving them into the cupboards could prevent you from overeating. Sometimes the trigger for our bad habits can be emotional. It is boredom, tiredness, or stress. Is it boredom, tiredness, or stress? These are things to consider when evaluating what your bad habit is, etc. So identify what triggers you. So if you say you're a big snack eater, and you eat way more snacks than you should, and you eat so many snacks that now you're overweight, and you need to stop the habit of eating when you've already eaten. Like if you've eaten your meal, then don't eat anymore. You know what I'm saying? So identify your triggers. Like even this example it was giving you, when you go to the kitchen and you just see a snack just sitting there looking scrumptious, and you just eat it because you can, this is where you have to go back here. So what do you do first? Identify, hey, I want to stop eating so many snacks after I eat a meal. After I eat a meal, I want to stop eating snacks. Okay? Now, what triggers you? Okay? Every time I go to the kitchen, there's snacks on the counter. Okay, what do? Take the snacks out of the counter. Put them in the cupboards. Put them somewhere that's not in front of your face. Okay? That's the next thing to do. Take your triggers and put it away. You know what I mean? That is, in that case, in that example, that's what you would do. So for my trigger, so if I want to stop smoking gars and having, that nicotine, then I switch to a vape. As for triggers, I put away the gars, the empty gars. So I have empty game gars, empty swisher gars. So for me, identify the triggers, I'd throw those away and get rid of them so I don't see them. So that's what that would be. Next step, cut out as many triggers as you can. So you would go in and go through as many of those as you can. Replace the bad habit. So in this example, I replaced it with using a vape instead of blunt gars, and then find support. So once you get to the find support stage, once you have switched your habit, you've gotten rid of as many triggers as you can, how the fuck am I supposed to find support? So in this case, this would be your friends. This would be people that you count on, people that can count on you, whatever the case may be, just people that you trust, okay? And it may help to find people who are trying to break the same bad habit. Groups that meet to quit drinking, smoking, or other bad habits may provide emotional and moral support. This may help you stay accountable and provide someone to celebrate your victories with. Knowing that someone is expecting you to be better can be a powerful motivator as well. If you have a buddy, and this buddy, say this person wants to stop smoking gars like me, for the example, they want to stop smoking gars too. Maybe once I hey, I'm having a trigger moment, and hey, I put that down, and I take a hit of the vape, right? And I text my buddy who's also trying to quit the same thing as me, and I text them and I say, hey, instead of smoking another gar, I grabbed my vape instead. And it's amazing how good it feels for somebody that gives a shit about you to say, hey, you're doing a really great job. You know what I mean? It's amazing what that can do. That can be a huge motivator for people. So that's a very important step as well. Visualize success. Close your eyes and see yourself throwing away those cigarettes or junk food from the house. Visualize yourself waking up early or going for that after work jog. Whatever your bad habit is, it can be motivational to visualize yourself crushing it and enjoying your success. Very true. And lastly, you need to be patient and persistent. Don't give up. Like I said, what did I say at first? You're going to need effort, energy. You're going to need to try. That is the first thing. You need to be ready, because you have to be patient and persistent. And to be patient and persistent, you need energy. You need energy. You need energy to do anything. Big surprise, right? It takes a long time to be who you want to be. And even then, you realize you don't know who you are. Take this journey with a grain of salt. There's so much more to experience. Bad habits can be hard to get rid of, but stay strong and determined. Because it might get harder. As for the randomness of life and the systematicality about it, it will be an enigma. So don't try to figure out the answers, the why. There is no why. You just do it, because that's what you need to do. So try searching less for the meaning and more for the action and motivation to bring life to the meaning. I'm going to say it again. Try searching less for the meaning and more for the action and motivation to give life to the meaning. Find some kind of support after you have already done what you can within yourself. This will take a ton of time, but that part is really up to you. As for how long does this take, how long do you need to be patient and persistent? That's just up to you. It's really up to you. If you give up, then you give up and you're going to have to restart. And if you can't come to, reality, then that's going to be longer. In conclusion, habits can play an important role in multiple aspects of your life, including mental and physical health, productivity, relationships, and self-esteem. It's always possible to build new, helpful habits and change habits that no longer align with your needs. You might have a habit one day and then you might change that habit another day. It happens. Let's proceed.
No matter who you are, no matter where you are in life, you can take the lid off of your job. And if you're wondering if you still have the lid on in your life, here are some clues that's going to let you know that the lid is still on. If you're not excited about waking up in the morning, if you're sitting around bored out of your mind, if you got time to do everything anybody asks you to do, you probably got the lid on. If when you tell your dreams to all your friends, it makes sense to them, you got your lid on, man. Your dreams should not make sense to everybody. You got to say something that make people go, how you going to do that? That's when you got the lid off. And if I were you, I'd do that. I'd take the lid off. Makes sense to me, don't it? I mean, look, in show business, that's all the time. You could come to work one day and they just say the show is canceled. What can you do? So what I've done is I've produced so much content. I got radio, I write books, I write movies, I do TV shows, I host TV shows. I got a game show, I do a Facebook watch show. I do so many. So when they come and they cancel something, I don't really give a damn. Because I got 8 more jobs. You know what I mean? I've just managed to stack. And then I'm always prepared. I prepare for what's coming. Here's the deal. Change is inevitable. So here's what's going to happen. No matter what's going on in your life, it's not permanent. Everything is going to change. So there's 2 things you can do with change. You can react to it or you can participate in it. It's going to change anyway. So if you keep waiting around, you're going to have to react to the change. And now you're behind. But if you participate in the change, if you know the job you have is not going to last forever. I'm just telling you. COVID proved that already. Where you go to work at every day, that's going to change. COVID proved that already. Your best laid plans has changed. So what you got to start doing is you got to start anticipating that it's going to change and just start living your life with the preparation for change. No matter what you're doing, you could be doing more. Remember that. It's 24 hours in a day. You got to use as many of those hours to prepare stability for yourself as you can. I said it online, I got in a lot of trouble. If you sleep 8 hours, you're not ever going to be rich. If you have any dreams of being rich, you cannot sleep 8 hours a day. It's only 24 hours in a day. If you sleep 8 hours, that's a third of your life. How can you cannot be asleep a third of your life and become successful. You can't. People got mad at me. They're talking about Steve Harvey prefers wealth over health. No, I'm just telling you, if your ass wants to hit it and be rich, you got to quit bullshit. You got to get your hustle and grind on. You can't sleep 8 hours. Well, how much you sleep? I sleep between 4 and 5 hours. If I get 6 hours, woof, I'm tired. Plus, I'm old. I got to get up. I want to see what today is. I can't miss nothing. Now, I'm old, man. I'm 64 years old, so I can't be laying in the bed waiting. I got to get up early. I'm up for the sun come up every day because I just want to see what else God got for me. He done gave me a lot. Might as well go see the rest of it, right? You can't see it sleep. So I've always prepared myself for what this business is. And for the first time, I've actually thought about retiring. This is the first time I've ever thought about retiring. So now I want to come home. I'm coming to Africa. The one thing that I have learned to relate to all of my children is to dream. There is nothing bigger than your dream. Nothing is greater than your dream. Now, as we sit in this great educational institution, I am not saying that your education is not important because it's tied to a lot of your dreams. But let me tell you something. There ain't nothing bigger than your dream. Because your dream will propel you to get the education. Don't you ever stop dreaming. Don't you ever stop imagining. And we're going to talk about them.
Amen. Amen. Steve Elmo for that. So the Steve Harvey video, I mean, that speaks for itself, and the Elmo video speaks for itself. Even that was just an example of, like, even people don't brush their teeth twice a day. I'm guilty of that. I usually, I don't know, sometimes I don't brush my teeth twice a day, but those are things like you have to remember. Those are habits that you want to have. I want to have that because those types of habits will benefit you. So always take a habit that you have. What is the opposite, or what version of that would be better for you in your life? So I know this was all a lot. So in conclusion, habits can play an important role in multiple aspects of your life, including mental and physical health, productivity, relationships, and self-esteem. It's always possible to build new helpful habits and change habits that no longer align with your needs. Always possible. Never give up. Never give up. You can always be better than you are, how you are today. You know, I can be better than I will be tomorrow. You know what I mean? I will be better. Period. End of story. And Steve was right. I mean, you're not gonna be rich if you're sleeping 8 hours a day. That actually like makes so much sense for sure. So I'm gonna put this in here, this bad habits definitions, examples. I will put that into the chat, of course, and for YouTube I will put it in the description so you guys have all of my information, where I got information, all of those things. But I hope that this has helped you. I hope that this has helped for sure. So I love you guys. Hold on one second. So you guys, we're gonna wrap this up. This has been one hell of an episode, and tonight has been all about new habits and have a better way of living. Never give up. If you want to have a better habit, or if you want to be better at something, or if you want to change a habit, get rid of a habit, whatever the case is, just know that it is possible and that you will need energy and effort. It's not easy to do that. You can't just wake up and say that and then expect for your actions to follow that. It's not that simple. You need to have energy and be able to take care of yourself during the process of changing and, you know, getting rid of things that you're not good at, or whatever the case may be, or any habit. So, man, it's a lot. But anyways, I love you guys. I will see you guys for tomorrow. Tomorrow's episode will be about confidants.